Today we are going to discuss your model, and let's start our conversation with by introducing you because other people may see this video. So can you please briefly introduce yourself?
Yes, of course. So thank you for having me. My name is Márton Gosztonyi. I am a senior lecturer at University Malaya, which is in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. And basically, I have been working on different topics, but all of the topics are actually circulating around informal economics. So basically, what I would like to understand is how the informal economy is actually works, how different aspects of informal economy are actually influencing the formal economy, let's say it in that way, and how these different complex systems are interrelated with each other.
Now, moving on to our first question. So, can you please explain the purpose of your model?
So actually, this is an agent-based model. So the purpose of this model is to understand how low-income families are basically managing their informal economy. So what is really mean is that if you calculated a low-income family budget, uh, um, the um, the income and the expenses are not covering each other, obviously, because they have much bigger expenses than how less their income really is. So basically, the question is that how they are managing their day-to-day survival mechanism and how this kind of system or systematic action is really create a system or a network of informal loans and credit relations, and how these informal loan and credits are actually trying to balance the income and expenditure level of the low income family. So basically, what the model it does, it is based on real data. So the data is from 2015, so it's a little bit old data, but it's very unique one because it's very hard to actually gather data about informal activities. And what the model does is basically based on this survey data, it actually can simulate a 1 year long process. So 365 days, and basically how the whole village is actually managing its budget during this time of period.
But my question is, what motivated you to develop this specific model, and how does this model stand out compared to other similar models in addressing such a problem or such an issue?
So this model is actually using a lot of so in a sense it's actually using a lot of different models. So for example, the forecast model or the forex model actually it's very similar than this model. How it's actually stand out is one of the things is that is slowly focused on low income families. So the main purpose is to understand the social strata, what we don't know too much about, and we don't really understand the core mechanism behind of this complex system. So this is one thing, how it actually stand out. The other thing is that it's actually using a network model, which is not. It also has some kind of a history in agent-based modeling, that you are actually modeling different networks and how the different networks are evolved and changed during time. But these networks models are not really capture the economic activities or the informal economic activities. So this is also an absolutely unique part of this model. I think this is the main two uniqueness of this model. I think before using this kind of data, it was pre-processed in a lot of different ways. Because of this participatory action research, our data is it's quite a fool. So what really means it we didn't have so many missing data or something like that. So that wasn't the problem. The main for me, actually, the main question is how to integrate it into a network and how to integrate this kind of network, which is actually more or less modeling the real world case scenario, which is actually happening. And that was the main challenge for me to create this model, I think.
So you think the main challenge was about the conceptual part of the model or about the implementing the
I think the implementation was more problematic because the real world is a very complex system,
exactly.
and actually to choose those kind of main aspects which really needed for the model is very important. I don't know, if I think it over right now, maybe this is the conceptual part as well, because you have to pick those kind of aspects which actually important for your model, but at the same time, I think it's something like a loop. So actually you decide somehow, and when you try it, it's not working, then you have to decide another one, and this kind of thing. And so between the implementation and between the conceptual modeling is basically, I think there is a connection which goes both directions. So and yeah, this is basically the process how you write a model like this. So yeah.
Can you please explain what kinds of results did you get
Mhm.
based on this model and what kind of insights
Yeah,
could
so
you
so the
get?
main one of the main results which was very important for me is that in the literature is actually there is a widely noticed concept that this kind of networks of interrelationship between the household is quite resilient, and which is actually turned out it's not, and it's very fragile. And based on the data, what actually the agent based model generated, and how it's actually simulated this kind of system, it's turned out that this is very fragile system. And this kind of thing is I think that one of the most important thing from a theoretical point of view, and which actually give a lot to the scientific knowledge, that even if there is a very dense network between the household from a credit and loan things, when a crisis, and basically with an agent-based model you can modeling a crisis. When a crisis actually happens, it's quite easily freeze and quite easily break down. So for me, it was quite shocking as well when I was, running this model over and over and over again. But the result was quite clear about this. So this is one of the main finding, but which actually came out from the model.
And the next question is about, because you have archived your model on comsys.net. At first, I would like to ask your opinion about making models, available and accessible to other people.
So I think that it's very important to make this model accessible for everyone. Even if you don't, especially working in the same field, these kind of models can help a lot actually to rethink the way how you think about your research problem, and also give you a lot of ideas how you develop your own model in a totally different way. The other thing, I absolutely believe in free knowledge. So so I absolutely believe in that the scientific knowledge has to be spread evenly and freely. So I absolutely think that it is a must that that these models has to be reachable by everyone on the internet.
So I think you have used ODD protocol for describing your model. Do you think that ODD protocol can be a good tool for explaining the code, or is there any weakness in this protocol or standard?
I think that's a good system. So I think that's a good system. I mean, it's pretty clear. It's pretty straightforward what you have to write down. So it's quite a good one.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for sharing these insights about your model, about your valuable model.